Good evening all. I'm Aditi Lama with the Wednesday night edition of South Asian News, Vision of Asia. We are coming to you from our studio in New York City. Welcome to the show. Let's begin the episode taking a look at the coronavirus pandemic and its impact. The world has surpassed 149 million cases of COVID-19 with now more than 3 million deaths. In India, coronavirus continues to ravage several parts of the country, especially in metropolitan cities such as New Delhi and Mumbai. Hospitals are at capacity with many lacking oxygen and other necessary supplies needed for critically ill patients. India surely is seeing its worst outbreak of the coronavirus. The situation is quite dire in the country, so we send our prayers to all our families and friends back home and hope that the country gets out of this tragedy soon. We hope you stay safe inside and healthy. Here in the United States, we're at more than 32 million cases of coronavirus with at least 573,000 deaths. Experts are saying that currently cases and deaths in the country continue to decline, but with the caution to maintain social distancing, washing hands, and wearing a mask. This comes as vaccination efforts continue to wrap up in the nation, with now a focus on getting anti-vaxxers inoculated to truly curb the spread. There's also a strong focus on bringing more vaccines to underserved communities of color who have been disproportionately impacted by this pandemic. More on this and the surge in India we have tonight: doctors, non-profits, and small businesses. Here are the headlines. Sant Nirankari mission hosts Humanness Blood Drive 2021, Westbury, New York. Coronavirus crushes India's healthcare system, featuring Dr. Anuj Vohra. Jury Design Lab hosts official grand opening in Piscataway, New Jersey. It's time for a short break on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I am Aditi Lama and this is Vision of Asia, Wednesday night episode of South Asian News. Let's begin by taking a look at India and its ravaging coronavirus cases. Deaths nationally have surpassed 200,000 and India is recording about 300,000 cases each day with more than 3,000 deaths. Many experts say that this is still an undercount of the full cases and deaths in India. The situation is making the Indian healthcare system almost collapse and overwhelmed, in which hospitals are running out of beds, ventilators, and oxygen needed for many critically ill patients. Ambulances are lined up outside several hospitals taking care of patients that have not been able to be admitted into a hospital. India's most vulnerable underserved communities are battling the most with the spread of this infectious disease, unable to get help. Quite a catastrophe. India's crematories are so full of bodies as if a war took place. Discussing more on this deadly surge and its impact, earlier today we spoke with Emergency Services Medical Director at Hartford Healthcare in Connecticut, Dr. Anuj Vohra. Here's what Dr. Vohra had to say. India is right now devastating with surge in cases and deaths. I'd like to know how you're observing it and how does all of that impact the global communities?
Well, as you mentioned, we've been seeing tremendous numbers of COVID infections in India, the highest that we've seen worldwide. And it's scary. And I think a lot of it is that people are not taking it as seriously as they need to with masking and keeping their distance from others. And we're seeing the result of that. The hospitals in India are completely full. ICUs are completely full, and people do not have proper access to healthcare because of the extreme volumes that we're seeing of patients affected by COVID. I think it's a very strong reminder to all of those worldwide to ensure that they maintain their vigilance of frequent hand washing, maintaining their social distancing, wearing face masks, even as people are getting vaccinated, and just avoiding large group encounters.
Right. In India, we saw a huge Hindu festival that happened, which had millions of people who attended in maskless. There were also election rallies being held in the last couple of months with, again, people who were maskless. How much of that do you believe, affected the surge of cases? Because it just came and now it's, all over the country.
Yeah, no, I think it definitely had a huge influence on the numbers that we're seeing right now. And just as we saw in the United States, huge spikes during the holidays because people were still getting together. When you see large congregations of people getting together in India over those special events, now we see the impact of that. And I think it's an important reminder to those in India to avoid huge public gatherings until we've gotten everything under control.
Right. Dr. Vohra, is this similar to the surge we saw here last March, April? Where we lost a lot of people.
It's a combination of the two surges that we saw here. Surge 1 that we saw in the United States had a very high mortality rate. Surge 2 had a very high volume, but a low mortality rate, meaning lower death rate in comparison to the first round. In India now, we're seeing a combination of both, very high numbers and a pretty high mortality rate. So we need to ensure that people are taking every precaution necessary. Even family members of mine have been affected this time around. Numerous family members, which really hits home because you recognize that this is a really big deal. And being that people were able to see what happened in other areas of the world, and yet this is affecting them now, is disappointing because it's just something that needs to be taken seriously. And I think India needs to take a step back and look at ensuring they protect their population by avoiding any large gatherings going forward and really getting to strict criteria of mask wearing and separation.
Can vaccines help this surge, doctor? I know the U.S. is trying to send some AstraZeneca shots there to India. I know other countries are also trying to ramp up and help them. Is this going to be solved by vaccinations?
In time. Is it going to fix this surge? No. It's going to help prevent another surge from occurring. I'm hoping that the peak will end very soon because I think now this huge volume of people that have been affected and infected by COVID will change the mindset of those throughout the country to be more careful and to maintain their safety barriers, and getting more vaccine to them will prevent another surge from occurring in the future. So it can only help, but I don't think it's going to solve this issue that we're currently in, because even with the vaccination, if you're taking the 2-dose regimen, it's typically taken a month apart and then another 2 weeks to really reach full immunity, so to speak. So you're talking about a 6-week time period till effectiveness. Now, if you're taking the single-dose vaccine, it's a little different, but again, it takes weeks to make an impact in terms of having some type of immunity against the COVID virus. But again, it's going to take us time to get it distributed throughout India.
Right. What are your predictions for the next 2 months for India? Do you think they can control it in that much time?
Well, as we saw in the United States, once the public gatherings and holidays passed, the numbers dropped. So I would expect that in India, over the next few weeks, we'll see a drop in numbers. It's just so unfortunate that the numbers were so astronomically high during this current outbreak.
Let's now take a look at a new business which has opened up in Piscataway, New Jersey, the Jewelry Design Lab. A South Asian-owned small business, many of their products and services cater to the South Asian community's needs and liking in jewelry and includes selling designer jewelry and gifts for all occasions, custom designing, engagement rings, bridal jewelry, wedding bands, and much more. The company also has highly skilled master jewelers, gemologists, and jewelry designers. Recently, the Jewelry Design Lab hosted a grand opening event, opening doors to the New Jersey community with an aim to empower small businesses in the area, which are the backbone of our economy. At the event, several officials, including the mayor of Piscataway, came to showcase their support for the Jewelry Design Lab. ITV Gold spoke to some of the key members in attendance at the grand opening of Jewelry Design Lab. Here is the story.
For those that may not know, I mentioned it to the owner before that we're the home of Chanel Cosmetics, which is the only Chanel R&D and plant manufacturing in all of North or South America, as well as Revlon and Kiss Cosmetics, and also the new corporate home of Louis Vuitton, of accessories. So what woman or guy would not be out without a bag or cosmetics, without jewelry, right? So this is a perfect complement to our township portfolio here of businesses within our community. And I know that the county chamber, Middlesex County Chamber of Commerce, and also the county government would agree with that. Anytime we have a small business owner willing to take a risk in any of our communities and open up a business, that's a good thing, because small business owners are the backbone of the American economy.
So here with me is the Sagar, and his mother is here, and they are in business for a long time in Abusan Jewelers on Oak Tree Road. Now they opened the new branch here, is the Jewelry Lab. So we wish him good luck, and we have another business, a lot of business in this mall. There's one Princeton Bank on a corner of the street mall. There's another here, restaurant open up, 2 new restaurants this year. So as soon as the governor's order come up that we can gather together, they are ribbon cutting openings there. So we look forward for new businesses in this town, and we have good luck to Sagar for this business. And please come and support our small businesses. Thank you.
We're super excited about being here in Piscataway, New Jersey. Our focus here, our purpose here is to help build healthy, long-lasting relationships during life's special moments. And our goal is consumer protection and building public trust in gems and gemology and jewelry. And we're the leading authority in jewelry customization, the local leading authority. Our specialty is customizing jewelry, repurposing your old jewelry and making new jewelry out of your old stuff, and jewelry repair, jewelry cleaning, everything jewelry related. That's really what we do. We partner with some of the leading experts in the trade. That gives us the edge in our products and our services. We work with the best and the top companies on the planet, and we want to bring the best to the community, and we're going to be working really hard to make sure we do that. So thank you again, and we appreciate everybody coming. Thank you.
I want to thank the Jewelry Design Lab for opening their small business here in Piscataway. If you look along this section of Stelton Road, all you see is small businesses and sole proprietors, and that's what makes up the economy, majority of the economy here in Middlesex County, here in New Jersey, as well as Piscataway Township. It's nice to have some of the large companies here in town, but it's truly the small business owners such as this that opens up, that really drives the local economy. So I want to congratulate them for opening up their small business here, and we wish them much success, both happiness and financially.
I'm excited to be here for the Jewelry Designer Lab here in Piscataway, New Jersey. I think it's exciting. Sagar is one of our Asian Indian Chamber of Commerce members, and so we're out here to support him. We wish him the best of luck, and I hope the community comes out. He has really nice, cool stuff here, so I hope that you guys all can come out. Thank you.
It's now time for another short break on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. Stay with us, we'll be right back. And welcome back. I am Aditi Lama, and this is Vision of Asia South Asian news segment. We have now another segment from the very successful volunteer contribution of the Sant Nirankari Mission non-profit at its 2021 Humanness blood drive in collaboration with the New York Blood Center in Westbury, Long Island. The non-profit, which also functions as a spiritual movement, addresses the importance of peace, love, humanity amongst all communities, bringing together one place for all people from all walks of life with social work. Built on the pillars of truth, resilience, and serving others, the Sant Nirankari Mission proudly represents millions of its volunteers across the globe who are all on a path to give back to the ones in need, the most vulnerable. On that, the Humanness Blood Drive, which was held with all COVID-19 protocols intact, brought together more than 100 individuals to donate blood, as there is an urgent need for blood in several blood centers across the country. We spoke with key members of the Sant Nirankari Mission on this Humanness Blood Drive and the vision behind it. Here is the story. What has brought you and the entire team of Sant Nirankari Mission here today? And we are talking about the, awesomeness of donating blood. I'd like to know what your perspective on that is.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. So my perspective basically comes from understanding the criticality of donating blood. Accentuated by the whole impact of the pandemic, everybody's looking for blood donation, especially in New York City. I want to make sure I contribute and be one of those people who are sending a message and helping others understand that it's safe and it's also a great cause. So I think the most important thing is the mission being selfless during the entire COVID time. They've donated blood, they've donated food, resources in terms of, just helping the community. And this is another big example. This is the second time they're doing it actually as during COVID, which I think they've done for many, many years. And myself included, I've donated since the first time this mission started doing it in the early 2000s. So I've been very happy to be a part of it and contribute to it in the long cause.
Right now, we are being joined by the Westbury Fire Department. We have with us Mr. Carr. Thank you so much for being with us on ITV Gold. I would love to know what brings you here today and how are you bringing the Westbury Fire Department into this mission today?
Okay, so pretty much today is always a mission to help the community. We drive community drive with blood drives. We always involve in that with the Westbury Fire Department. Like I said, we always with the community, and anything to help you guys is great for us.
Could you tell me how your experience has been with the fire department in all during this pandemic? What kind of obstacles have you guys been facing?
It's been very busy. Like I said, we do a lot of precautionary. The pandemic it was serious to that time, but we was able to make through and did what we had to do.
What are you looking forward to this year? What kind of improvements could we look in the fire department?
Pretty much we're gonna still talk to the community and have the community more involved with us by doing blood drives and going out food drives and have more involvement with the community.
And I heard you donated blood?
I couldn't because I donated 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
So I can't. So, but I'm always giving blood at least 3 or 4 times a year. It's something I've always been doing since I was 18 years old. So I love giving back.
What do you think is so important about blood donations, according to you?
To me, it's very thing. So if I have a serious medical problem, serious accident, and they may need that blood, and it make a difference. Like, so my blood can help somebody make a difference. So that's why I do it.
What should the youth learn from this? All the kids you see around in the mission. What do you think they should learn?
They learn humanity to save. We are teaching them to save lives of other. We should have that भाव कि हमें हमेशा देना सीखना है. हमें हमेशा अपने से ज़्यादा औरों की मदद करनी है. And if you I have read that line that if God gives you something financially or something that you can do anything for others, you can do it. आपने किसी की हेल्प के लिए हमेशा आगे बढ़ते रहना है. और स्पेशली आज हम देख सकते हैं there are so many youth who are donating blood for the very first time. So वो इससे यही सीख रहे हैं कि किस तरह से हम और लोगों की मदद कर सकते हैं और even this pandemic time. So हम चाहते हैं कि हमारा यूथ ऐसे ही आगे बढ़े और इस मानवता के कल्याण में लगा रहे. What's your message on donating blood during Ramadan? Is it a good thing to do and is it safe?
It's safe. You can donate blood during Ramadan. There is no problem with that as long as you're hydrated. So it should not be a problem.
My last question to you actually is, could you let us know, or our audience know, when you donate blood, what does it get used for? You know, what are some of the uses that are directly taken from the blood banks?
Well, the whole blood is all used for people who have anemia and they've lost blood for, procedures or for any other reason. But the blood is also filtered and used for like the platelets, the plasma. There are a lot of other things that can be used, for the blood products can be used for these causes where there is shortage of people who are bleeding for some reasons and they only need like fresh plasma or they need certain, factors. So they do a lot of, the blood banks extract a lot of factors from this and also use it for donation. So it's very important, yeah.
You are a first-time donor and it was your birthday yesterday. You just turned 16. I would love to know how you're feeling, and just turning 16 is such a big deal. Why did you decide to donate blood as well?
I was very excited to turn 16 because that finally meant I can finally donate blood this year. And it's been a big wish of mine to donate blood and help out the community, especially during this pandemic. And I love the blessing that Mataji and Babaji blessed all of us to have this ability to donate all this blood.
Yashi, I would love to know, you've been in the mission for quite some time now, 16 years. I know you were born and raised here. What has the mission taught you the most? And when you want to, give back to the community, what have they taught you about it?
So one thing that always stuck out to me when thinking about donating blood is blood should flow in veins, not in drains. And that is a very important message because all of us are healthy and blessed enough to have extra blood that we can donate to somebody else that doesn't have enough. And I think it's a very good blessing to donate blood. So I encourage all the youth that are out there to donate blood if you can, if you're healthy enough, to help out the community.
Something that I really notice and I really appreciate about the Sant Nirankari mission is the contributions of the youth. There are many first-time donors today. There are a lot of young faces here that we see. What is the motivation behind them, and how do you prepare them in the mission? What are they taught?
First and foremost, the family that prays together stays together. So we encourage that once you have join the mission and you have realization of the God Almighty, which is pervading all over the place, everywhere. So even our family, we treat them as a fellow devotees. And we instill in children from very childhood that we all are children of the same God, including your family. So you have to treat them with respect and listen to them and remain as a friend to your children. And that's why you see a lot of children are coming here, and we also listen to their input. The youth have their own ideas. They are the future of any society. So what we do in the mission, we listen to them, we cater to their needs, but also teaching them what's the purpose, what is life, why we are living in this world, and what's the purpose of our duties towards fellow human beings. That's why they all are very encouraged to do blood donations.
Well, this wraps up our show for the night. Please send us your suggestions and get your voices and organizations on our show. Email us on events@itvgold.com or follow us on Facebook @itvgold. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel for free access to many of our popular shows. Thank you for joining us tonight from Queens, New York. This is Vision of Asia, and I'm Aditi Lamba. Take care and be well.